Hello and welcome back to the Doctor Who Marathon. I'm your host McEdam, and today we're going to be talking about the Gallifrey story, Weapons of Choice by Alan Barnes. Sorry, Weapon of Choice. There's no plural in it. This is the first story in a spin-off series that revolves around Romana, now president of Gallifrey, and Leela as her bodyguard. With these with these Big Finish CD covers, I make my own DVD covers. I actually designed the logo on this one myself, and the picture is just a picture on the cover. For some reason it looks a bit more faded on there. That's the spine, if anyone's interested. Really cool. And that's the back. Very nice indeed. Now, a few people who are very into their canon might be a bit confused on why I'm putting it here. Romana gets trapped in E-space, as you may recall, and for those of you who are really heavy into canon, Romana doesn't leave until midway through the 7th Doctor era, and she then becomes president during the 8th Doctor era. So why am I putting it here? Mainly, if I'm going to be honest, it's because those stories which tackle her returning to normal space and going back to Gallifrey and becoming the president of Gallifrey, I'm just not going to tackle them because A, I haven't seen them yet, and B, I don't think I'm going to see them in time for the marathon. But I thought I'd put it here because I just like the idea of Romana, of these events happening much quicker in Romana's timeline, and I just think it works better here. And so those who know me, they might find me a bit biased on this spin-off series because Romana 2 and Leela especially are my favourite companions of the entire series. So, and that was one of the big reasons why I bought it. I got the entire first season. But this entire series is actually a very controversial one, to say the least. A lot of fans don't think we should learn a lot about Gallifrey. They should keep it the mysterious people of the Doctor, as we've seen in the War Games. And this story, and this entire series is just basically about exploring Gallifrey and its culture and its people. And as well, the inspiration for these stories is The West Wing, the American TV series about the White House, and it deals heavily with politics. It's a political thriller, Gallifrey is, and a lot of people weren't too keen on the idea of turning Time Lords into these aristocrats. Personally, it doesn't bother me, but it does. I must state that it does bother some people, so it might not be for everyone. Also, as well, a few people just really couldn't get into the first few series, and yeah, so this is a very unpopular spin-off series, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about it. Sure, people talk about Bernice Summerfield or Jago and Lightfoot, hell, even the Diaries of River Song and Jenny, even though she's only got one box set. But not much people talk about Gallifrey until they started doing the Time War series. So maybe you're better off checking them out. As far as I'm recording this in September, I haven't seen the Time War. I'm hoping to get them in time, but I might not, so don't expect me to do a video on those unless otherwise stated. But anyway, actually onto the story itself. So we see now Romana now already president, so we've already got a huge gap between Warrior's Gate and this story. She's basically part of a diplomacy as they learn that there's this weapon called the Temporonics fusion device, which theoretically shouldn't be possible, but years ago Time Lords tried to make one, but failed, and they dismantled it. And so, but they get word that another people have got it, and a rogue organisation known as Free Time are trying to get their hands on it to destroy Time Lords, or at least the society of controlling time and regulating time travellers. We later learn that basically to travel in a time machine, especially stuff like the TARDIS, you need some sort of identification. And if you have shown that you can't pilot it properly, or you can't, or you're not regulated, sort of like your ID, then you automatically get transported to this planet. And the Time Lords believe that the Free Time organisation are going to try and organise to get the the tectonic fusion device on this planet. However, they're worried that Time Lords might be at risk of going on this mission because Free Time hate Time Lords. So Romana gets the help of Leela. Now, when we first see Leela, she's her story is very interesting, because she starts off wanting to join the Shibogans, the people that live outside of the capital, because something's happened with her husband, Astra, I believe his name was. However, a Time Lord comes up to her. I can't remember his name. I wonder if it says on here. Tolvac. A Time Lord known as Tolvac comes to her and tells her that Romana wants her help for something. And because Leela brought Time Lords with them, the Shibogans basically deny her into their culture, into their people. So Leela reluctantly goes back and tries to helps Romana. And Romana basically explains her mission. And whilst this is happening, one of Time Lord's allies, another time-sensitive race, who don't really believe that there is a tectonic fusion device, basically worried that the Time Lords just making this up so they can take control of this planet where all these time travelers which aren't regulated go to. And so Romana's basically using the diplomatic skills to try and organise these two to herself and to this race. Whilst Leela and Tovak appear on this planet pretending to be slaves of one of the K9s. This story has 2 K9s in it, which is really funny. And so that's their mission, and that's Leela's mission. Leela's mission and Romana's mission, sorry. Overall, the story... Alan Barnes is a great writer, don't get me wrong, but this story is very, very wordy. And I don't really mind that, especially when it comes to audio dramas. I mean, sometimes when it's a televised story, it does bring down the plot, especially when you're watching it on a visual medium. But when it comes to audio, I think the overuse of dialogue isn't so much an issue here. I mean, I think it does bum the story down a bit, but there is a reason for it, and you do kind of feel like, right, some people might struggle with the audio format, and to get around this, they would just spout a bunch of dialogue. So I think this is Alan Barnes basically getting used to the audio format, and he had a very, very big task of setting off this audio drama series. So I think he does a pretty good job. Now, Leela has a bit of a story arc, as she's fighting. Basically, she's conflicted in herself of whether she should help the Time Lords or not, because she feels like she can't trust them, that something isn't right, that there's something wrong, because her husband, Astra, has gone missing, but nobody's telling her why or how he's gone missing. They just state that he's gone missing. He just didn't turn up at home one time. And so Leela, a bit more on emotion side than a scientific or logical side, just feels like something is off. She can feel something in the air. It has been established that Leela has a sort of psychic sense. She can sense when she's being betrayed and stuff. And she does get this massive unnerving feeling. And that becomes a big issue later on. There's a great scene in which they find the people they're after. And Tovak basically lets slide something. And one of the characters they're interrogating states that Romana doesn't just want to find the device to destroy it. They want a device so they can use it for their own, if it's even real. And Leela starts off by going, "That's not true, Romana would never," and then she stops herself. And she's like, "Wait a minute. I don't trust the Time Lords. They won't even tell me what happened to my husband, so could this be true? Could they have manipulated Leela and Tovak to get the device?" And that's what I think this story does a very great job. I'm going to put that, I'm just going to put that away. This story does a great job when it comes to Leela, and she really feels like the main character for this plot, and whether or not the Time Lords will succeed, or whether they even should succeed. Romana becomes she's a bit more of like a higher up, and she has to organize everyone, and she has a few people that she talks to into the as a second right-hand men and stuff. One of them is fan favorite Narvin. This is, I believe, is Narvin's first appearance in the Doctor Who universe. I'm 50-50 on Narvin. He seems a bit he likes telling people what to do, and he likes to get out his opinions. But sometimes it does drag the story down a bit. I think his personality might be a bit too because there's so much going on in the story. His character just seems like another bit that you're adding on, which you shouldn't, isn't necessary. But another character that Romana talks to is I'm trying to remember his name. Bexia Trax. Or I'm pronouncing that incredibly wrong. I know that. I do apologise. But this character, this isn't his first time appearing in this story. This is a character that actually appears in the Bernie Summerfield series. And he's also appeared in the Virgin New Adventures novels of Doctor Who, where he fights alongside and against the Seventh Doctor. Now, what's really interesting about this character in terms of just the wider universe is that he's the Doctor's older brother. Yeah, the Doctor has a brother that we've actually encountered. So that's another family member other than Susan. However, Big Finish have done this thing where, though the character's in it and he takes a prominent role in a few of their stories in both Gallifrey and Bernie Summerfield, they never state that he's the Doctor's brother in the audio dramas. And they may imply that his brother isn't very important. It might be the Doctor, but if you're just going purely by audio dramas and not by the Virgin New Adventures, which personally I go by, I do apologise for any Virgin New Adventure fans, but Personally, they're just not for me. But if you're going purely by audio, he's then not really the Doctor's brother. Or at least not confirmed anywhere. I believe they actually adapted one of the stories that he's in, and they changed it so that the mentioning that they're brothers is taken out. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong on that. But anyway, back to the plot. So, and the Time Lords basically, Romana basically wants faith that Leela, her K9, and Tovak will basically solve and get the device. But Narvin and Beetle, the Doctor's brother, let's just call him the Doctor's brother because I can't pronounce his name. They basically state that they should just blow up the planet because it is just so dangerous. This device, if it's real, is so dangerous that they cannot let it be used. But Romana points out that if they do blow it up, all their evidence that this device even exists will go up with it, starting a third space war between the Time Lords and this ally that they have. So things are looking very tense for our main characters, and it just, you do feel the tension that goes with it. Leela and Tovak, they get introduced to this character. I believe his name is like Napoleon. Dympaneth. I'm just going to call him Napoleon. I'm sure his name is Napoleon. And he soon discovers that they are working for the Time Lords because he knows Tavok. Despite Tavok never meeting him, he basically knows Tavok, and he realizes that he's a Time Lord and that Leela and K9 are working for the Time Lords as well, and they are trying to organize to get in this device. But there's characters like the Free Time Agents have got it, and they're going to use it, and the Free Time Agents are reveal that they can basically come in, and Leela states that she hates the Time Lords because of blah 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 blah, and to prove herself, she almost tries to kill Tovak, which is a really great and intense scene because because of everything that we know about Leela in this story, we do generally we don't know where this is going, whether she will betray the Time Lords or not. Later on, she doesn't. She discovers that another of the Free Time Agents is also a spy, and basically Romana basically comes to this planet as well, learning where everything is, and they go, and the Free Time Agents, seeing that the president's there, sets the machine off and it's about to explode or something. I don't know if they've explained what it actually does, which kind of keeps the mystery of what it actually is. However, it does struggle with helping the audience understand the threat of the situation. But anyway, the device is ticking down, and the Free Time Agent won't reveal where she's getting the device from. However, Romana clicks that there's a lot of dangers on whether the bomb would go off or not, and so Romana calls their bluff and lets the device go. In fact, I believe she speeds it up, if I remember correctly, and when it goes to zero, it just disappears. And she basically explains that this device was a dud, and it was made to basically put an edge between the Time Lords and their allies, and it was made specifically to alienate Romana's presidency, so she had to resign. but she called the bluff, and she's trying to talk to the free time leader, and she kind of gives away that the person who gave her the device was a Time Lord who hates Romana as well. But before she could give any more information, she actually kills herself to prevent, because she feels so betrayed and she just feels like she's just completely lost. And there's a great scene in which Leela is saddened by this, and the Time Lords are just like, damn, now we don't know who this person is or anything. And Leela shouts at them, and it's like, you don't care, do you? You don't care about lives or anything. You're just worried about what this has on your reputation. And it's become a big conflict. And then, so that's how the story ends. And that is Weapon of Choice. Overall, it's a great story. It has a few issues. It's a bit dialogue heavy, and it's probably a bit too many characters for what the plot wants to do. But Leela is just a fantastically written character here, really showing off why she deserves her own spin-off. Romana might not fare so better, but she does get a lot of her character traits and her personality out, and showing why she was a great leader, and showing that Lala Ward just can't do any wrong. So there you go. That's Gallifrey Chapter 1, Weapon of Choice. So join me next time when we go back and see what the Doctor and Adric are up to, and they encounter an old friend, or should I say, an old enemy. So join me next time for the Keepers of Traken. Join me next time on the Doctor Who Marathon. Ta-da.